Hey guys, Smalls here for Chapter 92 of Attack on Titans review and discussion. Now, first of all, I'm in a little bit of a rush and I'm just recovering from a cold, so no extra panels, just the thumbnail. And my voice is a teeny bit raspy with occasional audio issues, but I still wanted to bring you guys this discussion. And I also will announce that I will be having a full-on discussion video, part 2 of the Titan Shifter discussion, which will be coming out within the next couple days with new images that we got of Piake the Car Titan as well as Gilliard the Jaw Titan. But before I get into the story itself for the review, let me just point out that they said something at the start of the chapter in the notes on the side that this was a 2-part story. So I was like, wait, what? Because I wasn't sure if that was said well last month, but apparently where we are now with the Marley government and their war, it was an introduction to their characters last time, and this time we got to see old and new together fighting against this unknown quote-unquote enemy. But rather than hyping up the enemy, or their enemy, our enemy was hyped up in how they treated each other, how their history was, how determined each of the Eldian warriors are. And speaking of Eldian warriors, we have the disposables, the PARATROOPERS, so to speak, which you see on the screen right now. I don't know, I just decided this would be the best thumbnail to, show the entire chaos of the full-on onslaught that was shown in this chapter. Plus, we actually got to learn different ways to kill Titans. Yes, there were, stuff mentioned last time, but 60% of the Titans, something I wasn't 100% sure of based on early translations, those confirmed with more official ones, or better ones. Yeah, it was the Titans that got killed by their own mass bomb. But not like that mattered. The ones that survived, that 40%, were still enough to invoke chaos and devour the enemies wholeheartedly, at least long enough for Raynor and Zeke to come down and join the fight, Gilliard to attack the outside of the wall, and the Cart Titan literally carting giant guns on the other parts of the battlefield. And while I feel like I shouldn't skimp mentioning Falco and the others, honestly, this chapter more or less did that. Like, there was you could see the reactions on their faces and everything, especially when it comes to the end of the chapter, but at the same time, I feel like they were more built up in last month's chapter as opposed to this one. I mean, this literal chapter was more focused on the old characters that we knew already. And I gotta say, Raynor is rocking that facial hair, man. But, yeah. He's still chopped liver considering, one, the kids are literally scrambling around to get the privilege of eating his ass. So that's sad. And two, at the end, I'm still trying to make sense of what the fuck hit him, but maybe one of the ships showed off a shell before Zeke destroyed them all, and that 1 or 2 shells was enough to not only get Raynor to cover Zeke, but injure Raynor a lot. So with the Armored Titan severely wounded, it is very apparent, or at least according to the last couple, little notes in the chapter, that the era in which the world could be taken over by Titans alone is over. So that's good. Like, for example, we all knew that inside the walls on Paradis, technology could have advanced, and it has been stated that King Fritz, or, Rodriguez in this case, they kept all of the development very minimal. Nothing went on without their noticing. The most they did was give certain guns to, like, Kenny and the others, and certain maneuvering gear designed to kill other humans. which, ironically, will probably come in handy, considering, I mean, aside from the fact that they've been killing humans indirectly the entire time, they're going to have to fight more humans if the war from Paradis versus Marley is going to be anything like what we saw today. Because this was brutal. From the drugged up paratroopers to the fact that Zeke can actually control them while still in human form just by injuring himself before even transforming. That's neat. And then again, Eren could do the same with his actual coordinate power. So I'm trying to wonder, even though they don't have the original power of the Titan, like the coordinate, which allows them full control over Titans, it seems like with what Annie has shown, and with what Zeke has shown, they still have a decent amount of control. However, Bertolt and Raynor didn't have any control foreseeable at all. For example, when they were escaping with Ymir, nothing. Speaking of Ymir, I'm still wondering what happened to her, because they captured her, and they have her Titan again. The Titan power that was originally Marcel's, the dancing Titan, is now back in the hands of the Marleyan government, which means they have another Titan shifter on their hands. So when we think... Sorry, I said my voice was a little fucked up. I meant it. Oh, where was I? Right. Our heroes have two shifters. The attack/coordinate Titan, because, Eren has both powers, and the Colossal Titan in Armin. Of course, we haven't seen Armin transform into the Colossal Titan, and I want to see if it looks just like Bertold's or has any signs of similarities to his regular Titan form. So, we only have those two, which isn't bad, but when you think about it, they still have the odds fairly stacked against them. And even if they train their asses off, this two-part story showed just how much the Marleyan government is using these Titans. Not just the paratrooper Titans, but from weaponizing Peak and, having Zeke as a trained commander-like fellow. It goes to show that these guys are fully trained in every way, shape, and form. I gotta stop moving. I can feel my headphones squeak a little, and that usually comes up in the audio. Regardless, I fucked up the audio already. Regardless, this two-part story has shown just how far the Marleyan government is ahead of everyone else. Now, of course, that's not to say the walls can't come up with some kind of technology in the meantime, but not only does the Marleyan government have the technology of their own, they also have acquired, or at least I presume they can acquire, the technology of the United Union fleet that they destroyed and made a peace treaty with. They can take their weapons and use them on our heroes, making their Titan powers, which are basically the only thing Paradis has, insignificant. So, is it still just going to be Titan on Titan? Because that's great. We love that. But at the same time, after this, I don't feel like we can go back to that. I mean, who else fucking loved, Mecha Peak? That was fucking awesome. And Gilliard just ripping shit up with his jaw. And his hands, actually. Pretty handsy. Looks like he can use his hands and his mouth well. But all jokes aside, what am I kidding? No, jokes are never aside. We have a fighting force to be reckoned with. From the Titan shifters, to the recruits, to basically anything they have in their armory. So what do you guys think is the final matchup is going to be like? Just tell me in the comments below. This is a community, so please tell me your thoughts and your desires, your deepest desires, in the comments below. And don't forget to check out some of my other stuff, because I have a lot of that. In the bottom left, you'll have, stuff that you guys would like. Best reviewer, aka you. More Attack on Titan in the bottom right. Social media. And if you're not subscribed, please do. Subscribe. You won't regret it. Peace out, motherfuckers.